So anyways, yeah, life as a coder is great. I'm driving a Tesla. I'm in Georgia about to go to an Ed Sheeran concert. So this is a testimonial. Put that on my testimony.
All right, let's get started, bro.
All
All right, I'm here with Keiryan.
Yo.
My latest piece in the cupboard of graduates. There you go. Alumni. And he's now a front-end developer, or what are you, bro?
I'm a front-end developer. Yeah. There's been a couple things that are like sort of not front-end, but by and large, I'm a front-end developer.
People will know why, because I'm gonna put that part in the beginning.
Okay.
All right, so you're a front-end developer. Let's backtrack this a couple of months, or like more months than a couple, right?
Yeah.
All right. What got you into front-end development, bro?
What got me into front-end development? Good question. So I wanted to get into front-end development, and I've always sort of loved coding, which I think is the difference between me and a lot of people. I'm just a nerd by nature, so I've like been enthralled with coding for a long time. I've wanted to do it for a long time, and when
long before you decided? For how long?
Let me see. Probably I was sneaking off when I was supposed to be doing homeschool back in like 6th grade. I think that was 6th, 7th grade. So I was like 12, 13 years old.
Okay.
So and like
now
I was
supposed
15. To be doing school. Yeah, exactly. Right? Exactly. I was supposed to be doing school, but I wasn't, and so mom and dad were wondering why, and it was because I was secretly learning like Python on the internet, which was fun, and I was like writing scripts and stuff. But I didn't take it seriously, and I'd always wanted to, and I'd always wanted to pursue it as a career, but I didn't take it seriously until 2021, the tail end of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So what got me into it is that I've always loved it, but also it pays well. It is a remote job, which is a big thing for me. I wanted to be able to work from anywhere, and it's sort of flexible in that, you know, you can sort of do what you want. You can go where you want, and you can kind of do where you want as long as you get your work done. So, yeah.
All right.
Made sense.
How old are you now?
22.
I was guessing, yes.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22.
I don't know those pop songs. And
Taylor
before
Swift,
you were working at Apple, as people can see in your ears.
Yeah, so I was working at Apple before. I was a specialist as well as a tech specialist. So one department, we sold tech products, which, you know, it's if you come in and you have questions, you want to buy, you want to go through the purchasing process, all that. And then the Genius bar is, you know, everybody knows that's the tech support and repair side of things.
All right, so you were the guy that was coming to you like, hey, do you want to get this?
Yes. Yeah, I was that guy. So I want to come in and I want to buy an iPhone, but I don't know which iPhone I want to buy.
In 2021, you decided to learn code. So then you came across one of my ads on YouTube, I guess, right?
Yes.
All right. But before you met me, you were looking into other avenues to learn code.
Yes.
Like coding boot camps and whatnot. Like,
yes.
What made you say like, okay, I'm not going to go to a coding boot camp, and I'm going to choose this random dude that showed up in an ad?
Good question. Okay, so
with my scammy website as well.
With your scammy website, exactly. Yeah, good question. Okay, so I like to go about my decisions like in a very well-researched manner, because it's an investment, right? It's an investment as far as money, it's an investment as far as time and commitment, and I didn't want to waste time. Yeah, and energy. There's a lot. And so I knew that, you know, getting into a path like coding generally, you know, is like you go for a degree, whatever length degree you choose to go for, and you major or minor in computer science, something like that. And so I knew that I did not want to spend 2 years of my life going for a degree. I just knew I didn't want to do college. I knew that there's better ways. We live in 2023. Everything is on YouTube. Everything is online. Like there's just better ways. And I knew there was. So I kind of set that aside. The alternative that I saw that was really popular was boot camps. There's all sorts of boot camps. Everyone, like every Joe Schmuck has a boot camp for coding. So I started looking into like, okay, well, let me peep these boot camps. Let me see what they're about. And the downside, the upside is that they promised at least to teach you coding significantly faster than college. So instead of 2 years, they would do it in a few months or a few weeks, whatever it was, depending on the boot camp. The major downside that I saw in a lot of them was two things. One, the cost of entry was super expensive.
What were you looking at?
So a lot of them that I saw were like, you know, $10,000 plus. The one I particularly looked at and landed on was called Coding Dojo. That one was $16,000 at the time, at least. It could be more. It was $16,000, and that's an upfront fee. If you were going to pay over time, then they added interest on that, and then they had another option that was like it would allow you to not pay until you got a job, but that had like a huge. It was like double. It was like 32,000.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was insane, right? And so there's the high cost of entry, but then what I did was I decided to do my research on like boot camp graduates, and so I went to websites that were like review websites for the boot camps, and I went to Reddit and just basically anywhere I could find boot camp graduates, and I saw a common theme among all of them. So many graduates were like, I was promised that I would learn coding in this amount of time, and it would be like some crazy, like, 10 weeks or whatever.
Yes.
And then they would get a job, and all of a sudden they're finding out they're jaded because they get 2 months down the line, they're $16,000 in the hole. No one wants to hire them because they just have a bunch of exposure but no experience. And that was a common theme that I saw in all the reviews is employers did not like boot camp graduates because they like sort of just had a lot thrown at them but with no real experience in it. And so
they kind of smell like boot camp.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's sort of what deterred me. Exactly. So that's what deterred me away from boot camps. So yeah. Do you want me to answer how I ended up here?
Yeah. How did you end up here?
Okay. All right. So that's kind of what deterred me away from boot camps. The final nail in the coffin was I made this really long Reddit post. I went to Reddit and I went to r/learn programming, and I made this long post and I addressed the community. I was like, hey, I'm thinking about this boot camp. This is what I want to do. And it was Coding Dojo at the time. And I was just unsure because the investment, it was $16,000 just to get in, and that was upfront. And then the commitment was, I believe they would teach you coding in 16 weeks, I think it was. Somewhere around there, somewhere in that time frame. But right, but that's if you did the full-time option. And the full-time option, when I attended their webinar, was I believe they said it was 45 hours minimum a week in class. That's bare minimum. They said they recommended that you spend at least 80 hours a week in coding. And I just didn't want to not have a life for 16 weeks of my life. I just didn't want to do that. And I know for me, that's not my learning style. I can't just,
once you joined, like our program, because it's our program at the end of the day. Like, how many hours were you actually working in Developer Pro?
Actually, so it's interesting so my experience so I jumped in and I was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm committed. Like I can spend as much time as I need on this. And I was like ready for it to be a huge thing. And I remember you had messaged me at one point and you're like, hey, like, don't oversaturate your brain. Just like complete the basics of what you need to do, like complete it, but like, don't sit here and burn yourself out. So, initially when I started, I was only spending like an hour or two a day completing what I needed to complete. And then as I gradually got better at it, I was able to spend more time and not oversaturate my brain and burn myself out. Absolutely.
But not like being forced into it because you wanted to do it. Right? Exactly. Yeah. That's like a common theme that I see. So what made you like say, okay, let's go with this guy? What made you say yes? Because at the end of the day, like, I'm a dude from YouTube, bro. Like, you didn't even saw my YouTube channel at that time. Yeah. So what kind of convinced you besides my beautiful smile?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. It was a couple of things. For me, I think it was like the irony of this guy. So for those that don't know, I loaded up a video. It might have been a coding video. I think it's because my search history like had a lot to do with coding at the time. I was getting coding ads, And then I got your video, Christian, and it was just like you walking through a park on
I remember that part.
Super overcast super overcast day. And it wasn't like it was just like it's like you just recorded a video and posted it. Like there was no script. It wasn't even like a professional camera. It was just like the selfie camera on your phone, and you just like posted
it. Was actually my Sony camera, but with the bullshit lens. And it's true, I had no script. I shot it like 5 times, and I said, I'm not gonna deal with this. That's it.
Yeah. there was something about that approach that was just so weird, because it's like everybody else is like, everybody else has this multi-$1,000 video of them at home on their YouTube setup, or like a whole put together video with like animations and cartoons and all that. And it was just like so anti all of that. And then like as the video played, it was you basically denouncing boot camps. And so I had already had my wheels turning for a minute, right? It was like, I don't know if I want to do a boot camp, but I don't know how I'm gonna get into coding. And then hear this random guy with this thick accent from some, I don't know where in the world. Like, yeah, right. But as a viewer, I don't know.
Stop, don't go to boot camp.
Yeah, exactly. This guy just pops up and he's like, yeah, don't, boot camps are trash. Don't go to boot camps. And I was like, well, I've kind of felt that way for a moment. And then, you were just like, yo, click the link, come to my webinar. I'll tell you why. I was like, well, shoot, what do I have to lose? So I came to the webinar, and I was already sort of skeptical a little bit, because I was positive. You know how these webinars go. I was so positive that this was going to be one of those like get rich quick like schemes. I was so positive. And so I attended the webinar. I was like, whatever, like, what do I have to lose except for an hour? So I attended, and like everything that you were saying like sort of made sense. And I remember at the time you had used this bridge analogy in reference to boot camps. Mm-hmm. You would use this bridge analogy, and something about that kind of just made sense, and it really stuck with me. And throughout the course of the webinar, it might have only been like 30 minutes or whatever, but you talked about like how boot camps will sort of shoot you in the foot, because they make the promise that's way up here, but then the reality is that you get out on the other side, and what you actually got from it was this. And so now you're in crazy debt, and you don't, like, there's no job in sight because no one wants to hire you because you don't actually know anything. Mm-hmm. And all of that kind of just made sense to me. And that's when at the end of it you extend, you're like, hey, book a call, someone, me or my team will reach out to you, and we'll go from there. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna book a call because I'm positive this guy's not gonna reach out. Like, what? I don't have anything to lose, so I'm gonna book a call. I'm 98% sure I'm gonna get a random email. It's like one of those spam emails. I don't know, whatever.
I hacked into your computer and like show you a picture of you.
Exactly. I was like, what the heck? What do I have to lose? And so that's the rest is history from there.
All right. And okay, so right now you are a front-end dev.
Yes.
How much cash? What's the thing for you? How much are you making right now?
So I'm hourly. In the position I'm in, I'm hourly. So I'm paid $40 an hour in the position I'm in.
I have no idea what's that, like 40, 60 G's
40.
A year?
No, 80.
80. All right, that's pretty good.
Yes.
You are 22, bro. I think we discussed this.
Yes.
And you are making the average household income.
Yeah. It feels good. It feels good. Yeah.
It's pretty crazy if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
Like right now, there are some guys that are watching this. They have kids at home, 3 kids, a job they hate, and they're making less than that. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy, like what you can get out of a tech career if you think about it. But how did that impact you, like outside of the money, right? Because the money, it's one thing. But like being a dev, like how did that change things for you?
Honestly, what I would say is, so for me, I actually enjoy coding. So that's the first thing. I enjoy coding. I will say I definitely
what you were expecting. It's what were you expecting as a, like, coming out of the program? Like you know how it is. You have expectations, blah blah blah, and
Sure,
then
yeah.
it was what you were expecting.
Yes, but no. And I'll explain.
Explain.
So yes, it was what I was expecting as far as like sort of like job benefits. As far as like enjoying the job, you know, having a remote position, being able to go where I want, like when I want, you know, as far as that's concerned. So yes, I was expecting that. What I was not expecting though is when you get good at what you do, it's easy. Like I just, when you get good at what you do, I guess what I was not expecting is just how easy it truly is, and that's the truth. Like there are days, honestly, scam alert. There are honestly days when I am doing maybe 2 hours of work, and you know, I'm in a full-time position, right? So I'm scheduled to be working for 40 hours a week, which is 8 days or 8 hours a day. But there are days when I'm doing 2 hours, maybe less of work, and that's just it for the day. And so
I can relate with that.
Yeah, exactly. And so like that's something. And also, at least, and I'm not sure if it's the same in every position, but at least in my position, you know, my boss he's we're kind of on different time schedules. He's in Central, I'm in Eastern. And so I can basically complete my work whenever throughout the day. So long as I have my tasks completed, when it gets done is not really an issue. Which is nice because it allows me the opportunity to just like, if I want to go out and have lunch with my friends, I kind of can. And then I just, you know, I complete my work for the day and whatnot. So totally is what I was expecting as far as like
the freedom.
Yeah, exactly. But what I guess also too, like coding is, you know, it's a respected job. Like when I tell people I'm a front end developer, like people's eyes are usually like, oh wow, so you're really good.
You should say software engineer, bro.
Software engineer. That sounds
really
good.
Say that.
That sounds super bougie. I'm a software engineer.
The average Redditor.
Yeah, exactly. It's a respected job, and so I like going into it, I had these expectations that it was going to be super hard, that it was gonna like there was gonna be a lot involved, and like a lot of pressure would be on me because now I'm like in charge of like this big position. It really was none of those things. It's just I write a few lines of code and push them.
There you go.
Driving a Tesla. So
no, what? I still drive a car from the 90s. This might not be true. Guys, if you're watching this video, like, chill out. He's not exaggerating though. All right. Now let's talk about ChatGPT, right? Because I see a bunch of like average Redditors as well. Oh, with ChatGPT you can learn anything. Like knowing what you know, like how it was with the calls, feedback, all that stuff, projects.
Yeah.
Like, do you think ChatGPT can replace the program, the community, the feedback, the calls, all that stuff?
Absolutely not. It is I use it all, and I can say that with confidence because I use ChatGPT all the time, like all day, every day. But simply put, AI right now, even as great as it is, because it's amazing, it's just in its infancy. It just is. And so maybe one day far into the future, there'll be a day in which, you know, AI will fully replace humans in certain things and whatnot. But as of right now, I can honestly say, I just used it this morning. ChatGPT is good, but nowhere near human level in certain things. So for example, like feedback, it can give useful feedback, but honestly, it has a habit of spitting out incorrect things. Actually, a lot. It has a habit of yes, and very confident until you correct it, and then it will say, oh, I'm sorry, yeah, I realized there was actually a mistake in that. And sometimes you get caught in a loop where like it'll keep saying the wrong thing. It's weird. So it's great. AI is awesome, it's great, but there's no way that it's gonna replace humans anytime soon in specifically, you know, like this program. No, not at all.
What was like the biggest thing for you that you liked in the program, or like if you had?
Definitely, without a doubt, the feedback and the mentorship. I think that's something that's invaluable. That portion of the program to me was invaluable because you could learn how to, say for example, you want to console log something. That's only a quick Google away. If you want to learn how to, write a function, you can read an article on that, or you can watch something on YouTube, right? That, like, all of that's easy. So that base knowledge is accessible readily anywhere, but actually learning how to properly use it, especially depending on specific situations, like maybe this right here, maybe thing A is the proper thing to do in this situation, but it would not be the proper thing to do in this situation. You just won't know that unless you're working with somebody who has actual experience working in the coding industry. And being able to like answer a lot of like videos are great too. They're nice to follow along. Sometimes they go too fast. They're nice to follow along. No, sorry. I mean like YouTube videos, tutorials type deal. Tutorials are nice. But you can't ask questions really. Like you can just hope to be one of those lucky guys in the comment section that gets a response, but it's just so invaluable to be able to ask a question in real time and get an answer. And then also being able to work one-on-one, like having the community is great, and being able to work one-on-one is awesome. So it's not just restricted to only a classroom environment where everybody's got to keep pace with everybody else, but you have the one-on-one connection and you have like the community environment too. So you can you're sort of a part of everybody else's journey in a sense. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of think like that mentorship and that connection, that's just invaluable.
Yeah, I really like the calls, to be honest. They are my favorite part. Sometimes I want to take a break, but I'm trying to make all the calls. Even if it's Christmas, New Year, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, guys. Like, someone needs to be hustling, and it's gonna.
I think that's we did that last year. We had the Christmas calls. That's right when we were getting into Next.js. Ooh, I remember that vividly.
I mean, you've done a pretty great job. That table is absolutely amazing. And also, what else did you make? The theme, the sidebar, that was pretty cool.
Basically everything.
But now that project kind of went downhill, but it is what it is. We always find different alternatives, That's what I like about myself, I guess, because I'm like, okay, if this thing doesn't work, we'll find a new way. If this thing doesn't work, we'll find a new way. Like, I believe that's the biggest thing, because like if you go to a bootcamp, like they are very rigid and they're like, okay, 5,000 people this month, it is what it is. They all look the same. They all have the same Pokemon apps. Like, I don't know if you checked whatever Coding Dojo was making, but probably like you were doing the crypto app and that was supposed to be like your portfolio and whatnot. But most bootcamps stopped just before that, because we are also making the weather app. We are also making that stuff.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
But they stopped there, right? Yeah. But like people should know, like our weather apps right now are like fucking sick. The to-do app that we have, you didn't see the new to-do app.
I need to see it. Yeah.
We have a new specifications is like really, really sick. It takes like a month to complete. But most people are like, oh yeah, to-do app, easy, 1 week, done. You know what I mean? Like, there are so many like details and stuff like that. And then a self-taught developer, like, I really feel sorry for them, because like I genuinely feel sorry for them. Like when I see them like stitching together, oh, what if I do this or something like that? And I'm like, bro, you just don't know what you don't know, And I feel sorry for them because I used to be in their shoes, and I used to struggle with this, and I really, like, I remember vividly, like, I didn't know what to do. I wasn't aware of my next steps. I just had this like drive. I'm gonna do it somehow. But for me, it was luck. Somehow I've done all the wrong things and I still got hired, That's but
because you kept knocking on that door. You keep knocking, eventually it's gonna get open.
Yeah, like once I got an interview, I was like, guys, I'm gonna get the job no matter if you guys like me or not. That was my they had no choice.
Your approach.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's see what else.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. I actually just, and that's where I think the feedback is invaluable, and that's where that comes in. When I look back at like the app I was most proud of in like October, I think it was, I finished or August or whatever it is, I finished the OG crypto app. Like I was so
bro,
happy.
You didn't finish. Did you finish it in August? No.
It was it July?
Later, bro. November.
Was it November?
I think so, yeah.
It might have been. I was on top of the world about that. Like I was that was like my flagship app. I was super happy with it, and I was like, yes, like I did it. I completed, and I was on top of the world, and I was proud of it. And it wasn't until I started building the next generation one, and we talked about this. 2 months later, I got down the line and I looked at the OG one, and I was like, that's horrific. Like, I would never show anyone that. I can't, like, that's bad. And
that's
so,
experience, bro.
But but I just didn't know. Like at the time, that was my best, and so it was amazing to me. And it wasn't until I was better. It took someone who was better essentially to come on and be like, no, that's actually trash. But it's okay because you'll get better. And I think that's
the difference is in the details, right?
The difference is in just the minute little details. Yep.
Yeah. And
same functionality, but the details are just on
the micro steps, the micro interactions, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Where most people don't spend enough time. They are like, okay, I've done this project, let me move to the next one. But now we have new features coming on into that crypto app. It's gonna be even more complicated, more stuff. Like the more time you spend with something and the more you try to make it look like a real product, the more you learn. And like juniors don't know that, aspiring developers don't know that because they are aspiring, they're not professionals, so they don't know when it's time to move on, or they don't know if if it takes me, this thing is too complicated, it's gonna take me 1 month, I'm not good for this, let me start a new app. But that thing right there, that's when you become better, in my opinion, at least. Like
definitely. It's like running, when they say your second wind kicks in.
Yeah. Yes, I know what you mean. Yes, that's when you break plateaus.
Yes,
because it's like even with the course that we have. So like if you guys are interested, whoever is watching this, there's like a video course, and every few months I add things or like I remove things. I make like a transition smoother and whatnot. Imagine if every month I would start a new course from scratch. Like I would not get anywhere, like you just improve. It like with time, like with your, I guess with your skin, right? It replaces itself step by step. Not, you don't shed skin like a snake, you know what I mean? And then you start fresh. That makes sense, no?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, no, that makes sense. 100%.
It's a weird analogy, but like I guess that's the easiest, so people can understand it. Okay, cool. Let's see. Who should join this program? Like, who should join this program? Like, who would you recommend?
Good question. If you're looking to get into coding because you enjoy it, join. If you're looking to get into coding because you're just looking for a job change, you're looking for something that will liberate you from the office, from the normal 9 to 5. I really sound like a scammer right now.
Ty Lopez.
Okay. Knowledge. If you're looking for something to liberate you from the 9 to 5, if you want to like make some good cash, if you want to travel, coding is a fantastic job. I would say that coding is, I think a lot of people go into it with this mindset that it's going to be super hard because, computers are weird and I can't. You can't. If I can do it, anyone can do it. It's not as hard as it seems, but
it takes some time.
You have to be willing to learn. Yeah, you have to be willing to learn. You have to be willing to commit to it. And it's one of those things that is like, you'll be scratching your head. You'll be frustrated at times because it's a new skill. It's like learning a new language. Like if you were to learn a second language, it's one of those things that you will be frustrated with at times. But if you commit to it and you stay with it, you will kill it.
Yeah. And I guess I'm also going to drop the mic. I'll also make a video about this. Like I saw a guy doing more pull-ups with one arm, because he had one arm, because the other was beaten off by a shark or something. And he was doing
wow, that's terrible. I didn't laugh.
He was doing more pull-ups than me with 2 arms.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
That's literally the definition of there's no excuses. Like there's no.
But then there's but coding is different. Oh, I cannot do it because something happened. Like, look, whoever is watching this video, like, whatever bullshit excuse you are telling yourself, oh, I don't have time, oh, I don't have the money to invest into this mentorship, oh, I don't have energy, oh, I'm too tired. Success is not for you. It's not for everyone, you know. Not everyone should be making good money. Not everyone should be traveling. Some people need to flip the burgers at the end of the day.
That's true. That's true. If there's no one to flip the burgers, then
we can't have only programmers. We need to flip the burger sometimes. And probably if you cannot sit in front of your computer like a couple of hours a day to really understand this, then maybe flipping burgers is better for you. Like, honesty. Like, this is the worst testimonial video. like if you look at all if you look at all companies, like if you look at their testimonials, they're like, oh yeah, I've made this, life is amazing. And only in my testimonials, like, we are telling people to fuck off. I'm gonna destroy my business. Oh fuck.
No, this is what got me here in the first place. I was like, oh, this is so like anti-boot camp. What the heck? What is this? Oh, that's how I got here. Someone's gonna see this and be like, oh, what? He's telling me to leave. Okay, I want to join.
Like, but no, it's true. Like, whatever excuse you are looking for, like, whoever you are, I'm gonna call you Jimmy. That excuse is false. You just need to be more serious about it and you'll make it. And then once you become a programmer, maybe you have another goal. You can achieve that one as well. I'm a Romanian dude, bro. Like, I'm a Romanian dude who was homeless. I lived in London, learned code, got a job there, and somehow I started the YouTube channel and I have an international business. Like, this is like, if you look at the probability, like, it's 0.00000. And I'm doing this for 4 years. Like, all businesses fail after like a few months. Like, what I'm doing, it's impossible. But if I can do this, and if Keiryan can do this, like, why you just drink more water?
Yeah. No, honestly though, it's the key to big brain energy. No, I mean that's a valid statement. Honestly, yeah, it's a valid statement. There's the resources. It's 2023. It's not, you know, like everybody sort of has the resources are available. It's really what it is. The resources are available. If you're alive, if you're breathing, you have more resources available to you right now at this point in history than ever before.
True.
Like, everything's there. You just got to reach out and just choose what you want. Just take it. But it's ultimately up to you. Everything's there though.
You know those cringy quotes on Instagram, like people overestimate what they can do in a weekend and underestimate what they can do in 6 months or 1 year.
Yeah.
It's like one of those, you know.
That's exactly it. Yeah, it's all there.
Knowledge.
Knowledge. Yeah. Okay. As the Instagram posts say, just disappear for 6 months. Disappear, don't say nothing.
Alpha mentality.
Alpha reels. Alpha mentality. Someone's got to be the alpha. I beat all these betas.
I don't know the joke with the betas. That's like, side note. We'll talk about that in another video.
Oh God. Okay.
There is a story behind alphas and betas. All right, cool. If you watched this video till the end, and if you like our banter, and if you want to drink more water and also become a front-end developer, link is in the description. Click it, apply. Let's talk. Look, if you're not a good fit, I'm gonna tell you not to join. I canceled, like, literally, I had 1,200 appointments in the last year, and I canceled like around 500 to 600 of them. So, like, if I'm not gonna offer you to be part of this, you're not gonna be a part of this, you know, because I'm really picky with whom I'm bringing in. So then if you know that if I offer you to be part of this, I truly believe I can help you, okay? So if you want to make this a reality, you also want to make more money, travel, get a Tesla, AirPods Max, AirPods Pro. Do you have an iPhone?
Of course, bro. You know we stay strapped.
You
got to. On the MacBook right now, you know.
MacBook, Apple Studio Display, all that good stuff. Links in the description. Go for it. Boom.
Smash that like button.